Sugandhi, let us start the meeting as Miss Priyamvda Puri has joined us. So, Sugandhi, Miss Priyamvda Puri has joined us. So,
Good evening, distinguished guests and participants present today. I am Soumya Jain, an educator at Mahavir Senior Model School and a proud member of DKIF. I am deeply committed to reshape and landscape the education that is today. I am privileged to serve you today as a moderator. I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest, Mr. Kamal Godaji, President, IAFQE, Sudhakar Singh ji, President, DKIF, and Dr. Rashmi Tyagi, DKIF Patron, and Ms. Shweta Singh, Vice President, DKIF. Your presence enhance our collective learning experience. Today, DKIF proudly presents a highly anticipated workshop on mindfulness to unleash growth in education. Today's workshop offers a profound exploration of mindfulness to unleash in education. Throughout our session, we will delve into the pivotal role of mindfulness in education spheres, fostering an environment where focus and awareness coalesce to ignite transformative learning experiences. Through engaging interactive exercises, today we will embody mindfulness, cultivating a deeper understanding of its application in education settings. Furthermore, I am thrilled to inform that all the attendees will be equipped with invaluable and grounding techniques, which we will be able to empower them to integrate mindfulness practices into their daily lives and educational endeavors. Together, we embark on a journey of self-discovery, growth, embracing mindfulness as a catalyst for positivity change in education and beyond. Before we begin our session today, I am elated to introduce our esteemed speaker, Ms. Priyamvda Puri. Ms. Puri is a certified mindfulness coach and instructor for teens and young adults. With expertise in communicating and training the trainers, her passion for theater and classical dance has led her to impact over 100 of school teachers. Infusing mindfulness into education has been her forte since beginning. As the co-founder of programs focused on storytelling techniques in education, she brings a wealth of experience and insight to our today's session. So, ma'am, we welcome you today to commence the session. Over to you, Priyamvda, ma'am. I'll just...
Thank you, Soumya, for first of all enabling me to unmute. What wonderful would it be to start the mindfulness session with silence? Because when there's silence, you're able to listen more. You know, what a wonderful coincidence that the word silent and listen happen to have the same alphabets in it. And only when I'm silent that I'm able to listen to you better, and I'm also able to listen to myself better. So thank you for that wonderful introduction, and thank you for introducing me to all the distinguished members here. And it would have been very joyful if you would have had maybe some of the faces showing up, if you could also switch on your cameras, use your webcams and come on screen. It'll be so wonderful to connect over this beautiful evening. Can I request some of you to, at least if the situation permits and you would like to connect, I can
Definitely.
request some of us to switch on our cameras so that we can connect on the subject and, of course, get to know a little more of you. You get to see a little more of me, and I get to see a little more of you. How wonderful would that be? Thank you, Dr. Pratibha. Thank you, Vinaya. Thank you, Padmaja. And I am so looking forward to having this interactive session on mindfulness. So, mindfulness as a subject has a lot of myths around and a lot of heaviness around the word mindfulness. And we often wonder how profound would it be? And if it's a heavy subject for adults per se, how would we even take it forward to children or teenagers or pre-teenagers, um, or maybe young adults, or corporate professionals? So there's a lot of science backing as well, around the subject of mindfulness. And that's precisely why this has suddenly picked up a lot of significance in the education industry. It has also become the buzzword at the corporate. But to be very honest, the idea is not to hide behind this intellectual conversation. The idea is not to hide behind the tools and the techniques or the heaviness around, or the intellectual entertainment that is around the word of mindfulness. We all present here today at this beautiful forum, we are all facilitators. Most of us are teachers here, as I've been told. Now, one very beautiful thing that I'll tell you today about being a facilitator, being a teacher, is that when a student comes to you, please understand that the student is coming to you for who you are, and not just for the academics or just for the subject that you may have been taking. Of course, that is a part of the game, the proficiency and the exchange of the knowledge. But as facilitators, if I can just offer that space for the child to blossom and let the child be who he is or who she is, that's what the content is. So we're all, over consuming. We're all over consuming the content. We wake up in the morning, and the first thing we pick up is our gadgets, and then there is consumption of content. So information is not a problem. Of course, information is not a problem. But then, with the consumption of content, unfortunately, we're not moving. And the child also is surrounded with so much information, on podcasts, on literature, on Instagram, social media, reels. And he's made to read so many books and visit YouTube sites. Somewhere, if he's doing too much of time management and how to get better at things, somewhere we're also telling him or her that what you're doing right now is not good enough. And that's where the idea of lack comes in, where the child feels I'm not good enough. So if we can be on the same page, and again, the content is not around. Let me begin with this beautiful thought that first, the content is you. You are the content. And the child is coming for a connection. So in mindfulness, for teachers and even for parents or anybody who's using mindfulness as a way of life, connection comes before correction. very simply, you would have seen that when you have a child in the house, when the child is small, what do you normally do? You either get down to the child's level and then connect, you then talk. Or maybe you would want to pick up the child and, bring him to your eye level and then connect. So this, no one has told us this, it's a natural way of being, that's a natural body has this knowing that we often connect. And how beautifully we used to connect when the child was, in that nascent years. If we straight away move on to correction, how tight would the child feel? Just to illustrate, let's imagine that you're at that clinic with the doctor, or you have a wound, supposing the child has a wound, or maybe you are hurt somewhere. And the nurse is here with forceps and the gauze and things like that, and she's approaching straight away at the wound. How would you behave? What would you do? What is your natural reaction to this? You would just, tighten yourself up. No, 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 no. And you would want to hide away, hide your wound. And that's how it is. In a classroom, if you're straight away, without that connection, if you're moving towards correction, how tight would the child be? So well, I love to talk. And since we have only an hour, I'll quickly introduce myself and then, of course, have an open conversation around the subject of mindfulness. My name is Priyamvda, and I'm passionate about mindfulness as a subject. I've been learning it, and I'm still learning it. I'm still a student, and I'm practicing mindfulness. It's a beautiful subject. One of the best reasons why I love this subject is because it's DIY. Anybody who would like to unmute and tell me what is DIY? We all know it, of course. Unmute, please. And if you could have more faces on the camera.
I would request all of you to please turn on your camera to make it more of an enriching session. We all will be able to connect better.
Otherwise, it's going to become just another evening loaded with some gyan. And we're all going to once again hide behind the tools and the techniques that were given.
You can raise your hands if you want to just say something. You can raise your
I
hand.
think Vinaya had the answer. Vinaya, would you like to unmute and say? Yes, yes. Please go ahead, Padmaja.
Yes, do it yourself.
Do it yourself. So it's do it yourself. How interesting. Mindfulness is DIY. It's like that IKEA furniture where you have, all the parts of the furniture and then do it yourself. So one doesn't really need a support from outside. For instance, when you go to the gym for fitness, you would need that treadmill, you would need an instructor, you would need the gym membership, you may also need running shoes. So you need dumbbells, you need that instrument for that extra support. But in mindfulness, you're enough. What you need is just you. And to cultivate mindfulness, you just have to build on to what you already have within you. And that's what makes it so very special. There's another beautiful thing, you would have seen often that a lot of practices, whether it's grounding techniques or it's meditative practices or it's even yoga for that matter, we all talk about using the breath. Any ideas why we choose to take the support of our breath? Why breath? Any answer, there's no right or wrong. Any answer is welcome. Why breath? Why do we need to take the support of breath? What's so special with breathing? Anyone? Random guess? Yes, please, Vinaya. I see your hand. If you could unmute, please. Do we need to enable the unmuting, Soumya, for others?
I have already done that for
Okay, yeah. Now maybe try.
It makes us calm.
Okay. All right. Yes, Devishri. What else?
Debashri, I have already unmuted you.
Thank you,
By
ma'am.
breath. Yes, Devishri.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with the first person who told about it. The answer she told actually.
All right. Okay. If there's anyone else, come on, we can have multiple answers to the same question. There's no right, wrong. We're all exploring the subject. I'm equally getting to travel. I'll tell you something very interesting, why I'm so passionate about this subject. Have you all seen the Taj Mahal?
Yes, ma'am.
Those of us who are in India, I'm sure, and if you've been traveling to India, you would have seen the Taj Mahal. So when I take a session with you, I become that guide to the Taj Mahal. When you would have visited the Taj Mahal, you get these tour guides, who take you inside the monument. And well, they get to see the monument without any ticket. And that's why I love to take sessions on mindfulness, because here is my opportunity to revisit the subject without any ticket. And I get to see the beauty once again. And sometimes when you're an instructor around the subject of mindfulness, you often get those slaps also, because when you're talking, you also get to hear yourself. And then you get to hear, and then you realize how much of this that I'm telling everyone, how much of this am I really practicing? What is it that I'm still not being able to do as a human being? So, of course, here is my opportunity to travel the subject, and I'm the tour guide. So, I'm here to put you onto the joyride. And after that, of course, you sit on the joyride with tight arms, or you sit down with open arms, is also your journey. But of course, more and more we interact, we'll be able to unleash and uncover the subject and see the various realms around mindfulness. So, of course, breath, as some of you had rightly pointed out, the calmness, because it's DIY. So we're talking about breath because that's one thing that we always have an access to. But there's something very, very special about breath. What is so special about breath is, can you breathe in your past? Is it possible? Just think. Is it possible for you to breathe in your past? No. Every breath is new. Every breath is new. So we're talking about a new moment. Every moment is a new moment. And if we could embrace the new moment as it comes, and be in the present moment. So, of course, the history of mindfulness goes on from ancient years, and we started with best practices, changing the behavior. Then came the era of the strength finder era, where we talked about positive psychology, as to can I find my strength finders? What is it that's good with us? Instead of focusing on the problems, can I focus on what is good with me? And that is when positive psychology came. And then after all those years, once again, mindfulness came. Although it's an ancient concept, now again, the modern day talks about mindfulness, because what we figure out is that to enter into any gateway of success, the best way is to enter into the present moment. So it's only if someone isn't living in his present moment and isn't enjoying the present moment enough that there would be a need for you to go back into your past. It's really like that child, who hasn't eaten his breakfast well. Only that child who's not eaten his breakfast well would go out and fetch a packet of chips and eat junk right in the morning. If you've not felt fulfilled enough in your present moment, that you would need to live in your future, thinking about tomorrow, or thinking about yesterday. And science has also said, that most of us, if we are living too much in our future, If we are thinking too way ahead from our times, what would happen 10 years down the line? How would I save money for another 15 years? Science also says that those of us who are living too much in future age also very fast, because our body is listening to our mind. And we happen to embody that very quickly, faster than usual. So breath, of course, we take the support of breath because it's new. And there is this, in this Hindi and Sanskrit word called swasthya, what we call health in Hindi, it's swasthya. And if you really look at that word, swasth comes from the mool shabd of shwas, which means the breath. If you're breathing well, if you're breathing in your present moment and you're breathing deep enough, you are in your present moment and you are healthy because you have that feeling of okayness, that I am in my present moment. So that's what mindfulness in a gist is all about, having a beginner's mind. And I'm also reminded of one of my favorite teachers. His name is Lao Tzu, and he says, the more you understand, the less you experience. I repeat, the more you understand, the less you experience. So if we could have that unknowingness, that beginner's mind, with teachers, I mean, not that I'm complaining, but it often happens that in Sanskrit, there is this phrase called jnanam bandhanam, where there's too much of knowing and my attachment with that knowing happens so much that my experience reduces. So if we could come with that openness and drop that agenda or drop that knowingness around a subject and look at every subject from a fresh perspective. So in education, when the child is looking at a chapter and he drops that judgment and he drops that feeling around that, oh, last time I didn't score well in maths, so it's beyond me to understand this chapter. So you're not able to look at it from a fresh perspective, from that beginner's mind. And then we're all drawing boxes, So what is creativity? When we say that it's thinking out of the box, what is this box all about? So we're all creating that box around us, So when there is a thought, now there is a thought, there's another thought, there is another thought, there is another thought. And when there are too many thoughts in a sequence, it's called thinking. Right? And now with these thoughts, if I have a little bit of experience and if I have a certain emotion around it, it becomes feeling. So if I'm running too tight with my thoughts, too tight with the beliefs, then I don't have the space, the gap for something new to come in because I'm running already full. I'm running too tight with my belief that I'm not too good enough with a particular subject or a particular situation or a certain relationship. I've always had this concern with. So if I'm running too tight, then creativity doesn't happen, because creativity lies in the gaps of thinking. It's just like when you're eating food, if you see in the gaps of the intake of the food, the taste arrives. And Rumi says, love arises in the gaps of joy. So it is the gaps that we're talking about. If you have some openness, some spaces, and I wish if we had more cameras on, we could have done certain exercises. I have a lot of interactive exercises planned. I'm again requesting if we could have more faces showing up, we can do quick exercises, and that'll be a lot of more fun than talking to black boxes. How do I connect with black boxes? If we can have more cameras on, thank you so much. Now the evening looks a little more vibrant with such beautiful faces around. Thank you everyone. Come on, come on, come on. More faces, more faces. Let's look at the connection part and then we will go on to the correction part. So, this is beautiful. Little more faces so that we can maybe have a quick rounding technique. Okay. Now, when we talk about the present moment, it's also a lot about well-being. We've all heard about the word well-being. Have we all? This is like the jargon, today, well-being. Let's look at the word well-being. So well-being, let's appreciate the fact first that it's well-being and not well-doing. If we could enable Soumya, videos, I think for most of us are not enabled, and that's why maybe the videos aren't on. Because I'm surprised after so many requests, how come only?
I'll just check. Just
If
give
you
me a
could
minute.
enable the audio and video for all the participants, it'll be more joyful for me.
Yeah. I have asked few to open their video cams,
Oh,
but
Soumya, it's about the technical enabling. I think some of us are trying to switch on their cameras, but because of some admin issues, it's
I'll
not
just
permitted.
check. Give me a minute. I'll just check.
Yes, yes. So that I think we can borrow another 5 minutes with our conversation. Meanwhile, if the technical issue
Yeah,
is
I'll check.
solved,
Me.
then we can have more of interaction. So we were talking about well-being. So well-being, first, it's not well-doing, as I repeat. It's about well-being. Remember the fact, are we called human beings or are we called human doings? Fundamentally, we're all so caught up with the doing part, the checklist part, that it's a complete miss. It's a complete miss about the being. Who am I? What would I like to be today? I think Sugandhi says that all can on your camera. Wow, this is good news. If you could all just try.
Yeah, everybody's enabled now. They can.
Yeah.
I would just request everyone to please turn on your cameras to make this session more interactive, and we all will be able to get more benefit out of it. Yeah, I can see few faces now. I would request all to do the same.
Now can you try? Priyanka, you had a concern switching on your camera. Now could you try? And all of us maybe. I think she's raised her hand. Would you like to unmute?
Yeah, I'll just unmute her. Yes, Priyanka ma'am.
Yeah,
Maybe-
thank you.
Yeah.
I can still not switch on my video. It says unable to start the video. And it's the same for a couple of other people. I have shared. Yeah. Okay,
I'll just.
All
thank
right.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone else who has a concern, maybe could type on the chat box and Soumya could have a look at it. All right, so let's quickly do one quick exercise to see how our body participates in every situation. So when we're talking about mindfulness, the myth around mindfulness that we're talking about our mind, this part of our body. But hey, had it been just this part of our body, maybe it would have been called something else like brainfulness or something. So what we are talking about is mindfulness where the whole body participates. It's a way of life. And when you are in a situation, you see how completely your head, your heart, the feelings, emotions, thoughts, non-verbal body language, everything participates. Your face gestures, the feeling behind, all of it comes together. And that's why in mindfulness, we talk about head and heart together. It would have been so unfair. It's like Two people sitting in a car and only one allowed to talk and the other one's not allowed to talk. Why is it that we don't permit ourselves to flourish? Can I also allow my heart to talk and allow myself to be who I am? To really be who I am. You know, and we're often carrying the weight of our role, you know, that today after the session, when you go to the dining table and you're eating the dinner, just check. Just check, Pratibha. Just check, Sugandhi. Who is eating the dinner, Priyanka? Is it the employee who's still on the dining table? Is it the teacher who's eating the dinner? You know, is it the mother eating the dinner? Is it the wife eating the dinner? Or is it you? You know, you're often at home and your spouse complains over the weekend, oh, you were not there. And you wonder, I was there, right there. I was all the time there, Saturday, Sunday, I was at home. Why my spouse is saying, complaining? Maybe because you were not there. If I can make myself a little more available, and when you talk about making yourself a little more available to the present moment, we're talking about the entire body participating. My senses, all my five senses being in the present moment. Yeah. So let's just, to illustrate, have a quick exercise. What we are going to do is we are going to open our arms, okay, and look up. Open our arms and look up. Whoever has the cameras on, let's just do this. Even if it sounds silly, we are going to do it, okay? We are going to, because see, we are dealing with children, so we have to allow ourselves. All right, open our arms and look up. Look up. And now, while you're looking up, try and look sad. Try and look sad. With your hands open, look up and try and look sad. All right. Now, let's just close our arms like this. Bring our arms close to our chest and tighten yourself up. Look down. And now try and look sad. My question to you all is, which of the two positions was it easier for you to look sad? Anyone? Yes, Sugandhi?
I felt like the down position.
Sorry, come again?
I felt it like the down position, ma'am, not the up
Down
position.
position. Okay, so when you were looking down and you had closed yourself completely, you had tightened up completely, it was easier for you to look sad. So that's how your body participates. When you're open, when you're not running too tight, then you're open to experiences and you're opening yourself to life, to joy. And when your body participates and you're running too tight and you're slouching or you're hiding yourself behind things. So that's how the entire body participates. All right. Let's do a quick exercise. Do we all have an A4 size sheet, a paper next to us? If we all have, or we'll just quickly take like 30 seconds, any paper, and we'll try and do this exercise to have, you know, because mindfulness isn't a subject of understanding. It's a subject of experiencing. So to experience it, we'll have to maybe really see why mindfulness. I mean, what are we really talking about? And how can we bring it forward? So we'll all just quickly get a piece of paper. If you all have a piece of paper, if you could show me, and some of us could also come on their cameras. Those of us who can't switch on their cameras could request on the chat box, and maybe Soumya can assist so that I can see you all doing the activity, please. All right. Do we all have Vinaya? Yes. Debashri, Rohini, Sarla, Dr. Kishore, Ajita, Sujata. Do we all have papers? All right. Archil, do we have a paper? Great. Thank you. So let's all.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes, Sugandhi.
I have enabled the video. All can on their videos now. It's not locked.
All right. So can I request one last time? All of us, we could switch on our cameras. Pooja, Beena, ready with paper and waiting. Rohini says, all right, Sumedha, Prerna, Pallavi, Anju, Sujata, if you could all switch on our cameras, please. All right. So we all have our papers. Let's all, again, word of caution and disclaimer, even if the activity sounds silly to you, participate and allow yourself. Only then the experience would have. Let's not mentally do the activity. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. I know what we are doing. No, let's just do it. All right. Okay, so let's all fold the paper once. Any way you like, fold it once. All right. Then fold it once. Now let's all fold it the second time. Any way you like, please fold it another time. Second time, done. All right. Let's fold it one more time. The third time. And one last time, let's fold it again. All right. All of us have folded it. Can I all see? All right. Great. We've all folded it once, twice, third time, fourth time, and we are ready with it. Okay. Now, let's all open the paper back again the way it was. All right. Ready? Can I see all of you? Okay. Now I'm going to make you do something silly again. We're all going to fold the paper back again one more time. Let's fold it once. The second time. Third time. And the fourth time. All done? Everybody, give me a thumbs up if everybody is done with the folding on the second time. All right. Now my question to you is, how many of us folded our paper the same way as we folded it the first time? How many of us folded the paper the same way as we did for the first time? Honestly. Okay. And did you also observe something very special, that when we were folding it for the second time, did it take lesser amount of time? Was it quicker and faster than we did for the first time? Yeah. Why was that? Anyone? Meanwhile, Soumya, if you could, there's a request from a couple of people on the chat box. If you could just quickly enable their cameras. I think Mr. SK Puri would like to have a technical thing enabled. All right. So why do you think was it quicker the second time? Come on. Yes, tell me. Anyone? Yes, Padmaja. It was easier and quicker, says Nidhi. All right. Anyone? Yes, Padmaja. Why was it easier? My question is, why was it easier? Practice makes perfect. It took lesser time than first because we've done it the first place and we've just repeated it. Anybody else has any other answer? All right, let's have a look at the paper. Let's have a look at
Padmaja ma'am is raising her hand.
Yes, I'd like to hear you, but I'm not too sure if she's able to unmute. Please unmute and answer the question.
Yes, the second time it was very much easier because already the lines were into its place.
How wonderful. Very well explained. So if you really see, we already had these impressions, the creases in the paper, the folds that we had already created for us. And if you really see, if you do this again and again, over and over again, even if you leave the paper on the table, you'd see that the paper has this natural inclination also. of getting, twisted and turned, and the inclination of it getting folded the same way. And that's precisely what is happening with all of us in our lives. In the various realms of life that we have, whether it is our career, it's our education, it's relationships, it may be family, it could be my experiences, anywhere. We've all created certain patterns in our life and certain folds in our life. And it just somehow seems too easy for us to follow the same pattern over and over again. Just think about it. And if these folds are working for you, if they are working for you, well and good, fair enough. But just pause and think, are there some areas in my life where I've created my own folds and some stories, some patterns that I've been telling to myself, and those patterns or those folds are not supporting, or they're no longer working for me? There could be some areas where I'm just behaving the same way that I've been behaving each time. I'll just quickly maybe give you a very simple example. I mean, it's not a profound example, but something very relatable. Supposing there's a call on your phone, and your phone is ringing, supposing right now in the session, you can't take the call, but you can see who's calling, all right? And you see that it's your friend's name flashing. How would you feel looking at that name? How would you feel looking at that name, anyone, when you see your friends calling? How would you feel looking at that? Excited? Happy? Yes, because it's your friend calling. But how do you know that it's a happy call? How do you know? You've not taken the call, but there is this excited feeling. Nidhi says excited. Why do you seem excited? Because out of all the experiences and out of all the emotions that you've experienced with this friend, the most dominant one is joy or excitement. Because of our previous experiences, we just assume that the call will be a joyful one without even taking the call. And on the contrary, if supposing on the phone, on the screen, it was someone's name whom you're like, oof, I can't handle this call. It's your boss calling, or it's some manager or someone with whom you don't really have a smooth relationship, or it seems burdening a thought to take the call, you would have a different emotion. How? Without even taking the call. It may just happen that the second person may have a good news and your friend may have a bad news, but we just decided to feel a certain way because of the dominant emotion that we've experienced. In mindfulness or in psychology, we call it the emotional signature. So there is a certain emotion that dominates. And then there are some folds that we create. And we respond. Instead of responding, we react. Let's all quickly look at these two words, all right? So there is this word called, if I can use my whiteboard. Can you all see my whiteboard?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
All right. So there are these two words. I'm not too sure if I can type. I don't really see the tools. Let me just close this. All right. Without using the whiteboard, I don't think I was enabled with the tools. So let's look at the words react and respond. Very close families, very close cousins. How are they different? So when I react, if you look at the word and you break it, the vocabulary says react. I am just repeating my act the way I've been acting each time. Well, it's very easy for me to react. I will just quickly fold the paper the way I've been folding, because whoosh, that guy turns up and I know that I'm going to behave a certain way. So I just react, right? I don't need the whiteboard any longer. Thank you so much. You could just close it. Nidhi,
Yeah.
I don't need it. Thank you. So the first word is react, and the second word is respond. And what is respond? Respond means to reponder. Reponder. For some reason, I can see the whiteboard. If you could close it for me. I'm not the one open. Yeah, all right. So reponder is respond. When you pause, you reflect, and you reponder. And this time, you choose to respond than to react. And that can only happen when you're breathing deep. If you're breathing in your now and not choose to function a certain way out of my prejudgments. Because when you breathe shallow, the breath just reaches till this part of the brain, which is a primitive animal brain, and it tells us to react. But if you're breathing deep, the oxygen reaches till here, our prefrontal cortex, and that is where our rational logic, creativity lies, and we are able to respond. And something wonderful about breathing is just watch how you're breathing in a certain situation, and you would get to know how you're feeling. It does happen, you know, you start breathing shallow in presence of certain people. Maybe in school, while dealing with certain subjects, the child is breathing shallow. Because of the certain feeling that he has, that dominant experience that he's had about that subject, he's breathing shallow. And another very interesting way is also, please go home and observe how are other people breathing in your presence. Are they breathing deep enough? Do they feel connected with you? Are they comfortable in your presence, or in your presence, they are breathing shallow? You know, I don't really have a scientific document to prove this, but it's also seen that people who think alike, they actually breathe similar. So when you are breathing deep, just see, am I breathing from above my chest? Am I breathing shallow? Am I breathing from my chest level? Or am I doing belly breathing? Have you seen little babies, how they sleep? When they breathe deep. You can actually see their belly move up and down, and they can really be themselves. You know, when they go to the mirror, they'll just put their nose next to the mirror and make faces and do what they feel like, because they don't have that hesitation or their inhibition to look at themselves in the mirror. And just look at the way we look ourselves, you know, at ourselves in the mirror. Sometimes we even have so much of agenda that we look at the mirror and we're only looking at that white hair or that pimple or that line. We're only looking at that correction bit. Or how fat am I looking? And sometimes it's a complete miss. We've been standing in front of the mirror, but I'm sure we've not even had a close look at our own self. We've not enjoyed it enough because I'm not making myself available. You know, just making yourself available completely for something makes it completely different an experience. The same apple, if Sugandhi and I are eating the same apple, if she's eating it in a hurry and not making herself available for that one apple, I'm telling you, different nourishment will be attained from the same apple. Less nourishment would go to someone the only difference is that someone who made himself completely available to enjoy the juices, to enjoy the flavor, to enjoy the fruit, and to chew it, and to be in that moment, the same apple will give more nutrition to that person. And with children, you know, we often hear from parents that my child is having way too much of junk. I'm telling you, you tell the child mindfully eat. You enjoy that piece of pizza. That one piece of pizza, if you enjoy it thoroughly and not just gulp it down, that one piece of pizza will give you more fulfillment. And the child will not be able to finish that pizza because he would be already done and fulfilled. Why we crave for more? We eat one chocolate and we feel like eating another scoop of ice cream. Why? Because that first round that we eat, we were not available enough for it. And that's why we are feeling fulfilled. So if you could just make yourself available for that moment to get more out of it. Okay. Talking about teenagers, talking about children, since most of us here are teachers and facilitators, I'll just see if I can share my screen. All right. All right. What do you see here in this picture? You all can see my screen. If there's anyone who'd like to unmute and answer. If there's anyone, what do you see in this picture?
So everybody's clicking photos.
And who else? Yes, go ahead, of course. Yes, Padmaja. You can unmute, Padmaja. Yes, Priyanka. Are we able to unmute? No? Okay, again, I think the settings are...
I'll just...
All right.
So there is chaos.
Okay.
Everybody has a gadget in the hand.
Mhm.
There seems to be Mona Lisa photograph, but nobody's, actually admiring the photograph. They are just busy in some kind of a mess.
Absolutely correct. Maybe they're clicking pictures to enjoy it in their future. And it's a complete miss that they're not making themselves available to enjoy. This must be the most expensive art gallery, the most high-ticketed painting. And they would have spent so much of money to be here. But are they really here? What a big miss. I mean, of course, it's a great idea to think about future, to what new I can do. But it's going to be a complete miss if I don't enjoy what I have with me now. And not tell myself that I'm doing well for myself. Whatever it is, I'm doing pretty okay. And can I be here? And if you look at the sunflower, the sunflower, it's so beautiful to see a very striking similarity between the sunflower and children. Yes, Devashi, you're absolutely right. They aren't enjoying their moments. Now, when we're talking about children, why are we talking about children? Why are we talking about teenagers? What do we see in the sunflower? You see the sunflower and there's a particular pattern that, a behavior that we see in sunflower. What is it with the sun? Anyone? Yes, Sarla, I totally get it. Yes. So what is it with the sunflower and sun? Yes, Soumya?
I think the sunflower moves towards where the sun is, just like children move towards the people who are having that bright personality. They are, happy to connect with people who are very elated all the time, happy all the time.
So it's very interesting, that so this behavior is seen only in the younger phases of the sunflower growth, that the sunflower faces the sun. Wherever the sun would move from east to west, the sunflower would face the sun. And this is exactly seen in human beings as well, in the earlier phases of our development, when when it's a little child. Who is the sun for the little children? It's the teacher or the parent maybe at home. Yes. And have you seen wherever the mother would go, the child would just follow, even if the mother is going to the washroom, the child would want to come along, and knock on the door and get, miserable by the time the child is coming, the mother is out, and, the child would just want to be with the mother. They would just want to follow you. And something very interesting happens in the teenage years, in the adolescent years. There's a change here. The sunflowers, when they start growing up, instead of facing the sun, they start facing each other. They start looking at each other. And that's what happens with teenagers and young adults. When they're growing up, they look around for that vibrance, wherever they see that vibrance, as Soumya had said. So there's nothing wrong in it. And they would like to follow others, like on social media, they say followers. So of course they'll be followers because they're wanting the same attention. They're wanting the same, they also want to be that attractive. And they're also wanting the same growth. So there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe we're just looking at them from that lens. Yes, they'll be following each other. They'll be trying to follow the trend. But the idea is, can we just allow the child to be who he is? If there's too much of a race where he's just trying to fit in the trend and fit in the box, where am I vis-a-vis the trend? Where am I vis-a-vis my friends? It's a complete miss if he's not allowing himself to be who he is and following the trend and trying to fit into the box. And this is exactly what happens, where if you've studied psychology, you would understand the Erikson's 7 stages of development, where there is this stage of teenage where there is an identity. Who am I? The identity confusion. Who am I? So that's how we talk about mindfulness in the teenage years, because this is the age when they're going to develop their relationships and their understanding, whether it's with people or the relationship with money or certain experiences. And if we can allow them to have a beginner's mind. And somewhere our focus happens to be with what is missing. Before we close last 2 minutes, we'll quickly do this short 2 minutes activity. Let's all quickly think of our favorite fruit. We'll just take maybe a couple of responses. What you're supposed to do is think of your favorite fruit, go on Google, and quickly, so if Sarla says mango, whatever is your answer, quickly go on your gadget, on your Google, you visit Google on your device and find out the benefits of eating mango or whatever your fruit is, right? Whatever your favorite fruit is, and we'll just take a couple of responses. Just go on Google and type out the benefits of eating mango, benefits of eating apple, benefits of eating grapes, whatever is your favorite fruit. And quickly, if someone's already found their answers, they could share. All right, mango, good for eyes. Keep reading. If anyone could just unmute and read all the things that have showed up as a Google result.
I'll do so.
Yes. What is your favorite fruit, Soumya?
Mine is mango as well.
All right. So let's hear the benefits of eating mango. Yes, we are waiting, Soumya.
Just
read aloud. Yeah.
Yeah. Strengthens immune system.
Okay.
Lowers blood pressure, which can help protect against heart diseases, stroke. That is jackfruit.
All right.
Rich source of calcium. That is mango again, I guess.
All right.
So now there are a lot of responses. Just one.
All
Papaya
right.
improves digestion.
Tell me something. Look at the communication around. Do you really eat that mango to improve your immune system? Or do you eat that mango for that mango? The entire communication, 1:18 is the ratio. 18 such heavy things and 18 negative things would be, who eats papaya to beat cancer? Tell me. Do you eat papaya to enjoy papaya? Yes. So if you can just focus on the goodness part of it. I like to eat vanilla ice cream because I like vanilla. No other reason. That's it. Simple. I like chocolate because I like chocolate. Making yourself available for the goodness of the fruit, where there is this jargon called the missing tile syndrome. There was this swimming pool with the most flashy and the most expensive tiles all across the swimming pool. And there is this, the team visits and the gentleman. So there is this entire swimming pool is covered and only one tile in that swimming pool is missing. And instead of looking at those 99 good tiles, our attention only goes on that one tile that is missing. And then every visitor said, oh, what happened to that tile? When we get our blood test done from Lal Pathology Lab or wherever, when we have the medical reports in our hand, what do? We straight away turn our pages and look at the red marks. What is it that's out? Out of 100 things, if 2 things are out, we totally take our attention to those 2 things. What about the 98 things that your body has got right? What about that? Do we even spend a little moment to be grateful about that? And maybe enhance that to have 100 on 100. So can we just move from the syndrome of that missing tile and focus on what we have and operate more out of abundance? That's what mindfulness is all about. Mindfulness is not just about meditative practices and grounding techniques and deep breathing. It's also about the way of life. So we have lots more, and maybe I'm sure there's another time we can look forward to. Since we're already overshot the time, maybe we can close the session here. I hope the bubbles and the myths around mindfulness have been lightened up and the bubbles have bursted, because it's a fragrant subject. Yes, it's profound, but we can enjoy it because it's about experience. And if there's anyone who would like to say anything or quickly ask, otherwise we could close the session. Soumya.
Good evening, everybody. Actually, the session is super duper, right? And I can get the feedback. Even my wife is also, listening to you, and she says that this is the one of the best sessions we ever had with DKIF. Having said that, I would like to request Mr. S.K. Puri, sub, and tell here everyone is that he is my first mentor in education. It is because of him that I entered the education world, right? And all credit goes to him. So my journey started, from hiring business school, where I was head of retail management department, and it was under his guidance and mentorship that I was able to, go through all that. So the credit goes to him for bringing me in, education. And today we have come to DKIF, which is a world class organization today. So the credit goes to him. So I would request him to say a few words, and then we go to Soumya and then Shweta ma'am, because we have to announce the shortlisted candidates for lesson plans. So over to Puri sir.
Are you able to unmute, because we can't hear you?
I'll just, yeah, that is what I'm checking.
It is enabled for everybody. He can. I released
Yeah,
it.
I've just sent the request also to sir. So if you may just unmute yourself.
I think he's unmuted, but we can't hear him.
Yeah, so you're not audible. If you could
Maybe
just
what you could do is you could unplug your earphones and then try. Just you could remove the cord.
So we are unable to hear you. You will have to unplug your cord, I guess, as Priyamvda ma'am is saying.
Meanwhile, I've been receiving a lot of comments on the chat box, and I'm grateful to
सर वॉल्यूम चेक कीजिए, हो सकता है वॉल्यूम बिल्कुल मिनिमाइज्ड हो, तो वॉल्यूम को थोड़ा सा ऊपर कीजिए.
While sir is trying to figure out, I would say, Priyamvda ma'am, a lot of comments here, you know, everybody has enjoyed your session a lot. Everybody is writing wonderful session. We have enjoyed a lot. And actually, it was one of the enriching sessions that, you know, we have participated in. And a long time, I would say a lot of activities were also there, which I definitely seemed silly at first, but not that silly. So really enriching session. Satinder sir, I have again sent you a request to unmute yourself. Please check.
Soumya, by the time this gets sorted out, please request Shweta ma'am to come over.
Yes, I am really elated to invite Shweta ma'am to announce the shortlisted candidates for this program, the lesson plan program which IF has initiated. Shweta ma'am, we would really request you to announce the shortlisted candidates now. Thank you so much. I'll send you the request also to unmute. Yes, ma'am.
I hope everybody can hear me. Awesome. Before I say anything, I would first thank Priyamvda ji for taking us through this beautiful session of mindfulness and helping us figure out a way of conscious living, if I may say that, because it is living with mindfulness can be loosely translated maybe as being with self, सचेतन होना, अगर मैं ये कह सकूं तो चेतना के साथ रहना, being conscious and perceptive of the life around us and its various manifestations. I'm sure we would have gained a lot more had we had more time, but maybe more sessions would compensate for that. So thank you so much. I would also thank Soumya ji for being right there throughout the session with all of us. And now is the time that our educators have been waiting for. By the time we wait for Puri Sab's this technical glitch. So let us move this program a little bit forward, and I am about to tell all our educators what made us shortlist all these candidates. And I'm going to announce the shortlisted candidates. I'm not going to announce the winners yet, only the shortlisted candidates, because these are the people amongst whom the first 3 winners would be selected. And the criteria that our jury used to judge these amazing innovators in education, that is what I would like to call them. They were all innovators in education, and they presented such innovative indigenous lesson plans as per the contest demanded, that it was a revelation in itself. And I felt personally very happy when I saw the lesson plans, that such is the quality of teaching that is happening in our education world. So with great happiness, first I would give a brief idea about what made the jury select you all. So first of all, it was the format of your lesson planning. It was the idea first, and the formatting of it, the learning objectives, the outcomes, all that, and then the pedagogy of it. So that we would, as we had already told you, the research-based pedagogy, if you have included, that is a big plus. So art integration, some kind of innovation, inclusion of research pedagogy, multidisciplinary learning, that is inclusion of STEAM, some real life application, some beyond the classroom methods, if you have incorporated, some life skills, 21st century skills, if you have integrated it with the SDG goals, and if you have aligned it with the NEP NCF, that is of course a primary importance. So if you have done all of it, and our jury appreciated your work, then you are among these top 14 innovative educationists that I'm about to announce. I'm really, really happy to announce the names of the top 14. I must say, before I announce the name, this is not purposely suspense making. I just have to say that before I go on with the names, that all of these would be given a chance to present their lesson plans virtually in our seminar activities for international quality education. So they would all these top 14 would be given the opportunity to present their lesson plans in front of the South Asian educator community. And the winners would also be given an opportunity to come at our physical conference and present their lesson plans. Now, this is a really, really big opportunity, and I'm delighted to inform about this to all of you, that it would be our pleasure and honor to host you at the conference. So without much ado, I would give you the names of the top 14 educators. So the first name that I have is Shabistan Firdaus. The subject is science, KG grade, and she's from the Indian Academy Dubai School. Congratulations, Shabistan. If you're there, we would love to have you on camera. The second name is Qazi Misbah, biology, 8th class, same school, the Indian Academy, Dubai. Whoever's names are being called, if you are there, we would love to have you on camera and interact. The third name is Nidhi Kishnani, science, and the school is Future Academy. I think the name of the place has not been mentioned in the paper. We would like to have more information on that. Future Academy, science teacher Nidhi Kishnani is the third shortlisted candidate. Fourth is a pair of teachers who have done the work together, as we had allowed group work also. So we have Bini Balakrishnan and Jaimol AV for social science, class 9, from Kulapati Munshi Bhavan's Vidya Mandir, Thrissur, Kerala. Congratulations, both of you. The fifth educator here is Ms. Batul Raza, science, class 8, from Gauds International School, Siddharth Vihar, Ghaziabad. If we have her...
Excuse me, ma'am. Miss Nidhi Kishanani is there, and I think
Great.
that Miss Batul Raja is also there. So she was trying to... Yeah.
Yes, I see the chat now. Nidhi ma'am's here. Can we see her? Nidhi ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right.
Yes,
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to all for selecting me. So it's a great opportunity for me to present the lesson plan. So thanks again. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a lovely experience to involve all of you, and your work was really commendable, I must say. And I congratulate you for doing such great work. Batul ma'am is also there.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I would love to thank each and everyone and all the jury members for giving me this, for shortlisting me for this opportunity, and I'll make sure that I will make the most out of it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was wonderful having you here today, and I am sure that the presentations that you all would be giving would be par excellence, and we would have a real difficulty judging, selecting 3 out of these top 14.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving ahead, we have Padmaja YV, and I think Padmaja ma'am is also here. She has talked about motor skills in junior KG level from Sharada Vidyalaya, Bengaluru. Padmaja ma'am
Thank
is
you so
here.
much, ma'am. Yes, yes. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much. I have no words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Reserve all your words for your presentation, I must say. So it would be great to see you presenting. The next name is Rohini Sridharan for English, class 5, PM Shri Kendri Vidyalaya, Beenambakkam. Is Rohini ma'am there? Rohini Sridharan. Moving forward, I have Jasima M. Jasima M, who is teaching Islamic studies to class 3, Woodland Park School.
Yes, thank you so much. My webcam isn't working. Thanks for choosing my lesson plan.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Looking forward for your presentation. And Rohini ma'am is also there. If Rohini ma'am would like to speak a few words, she's most welcome. Vikas Singh Bangla, sir. The next name is Mr. Vikas Singh Bangla, physics teacher, class 10 from Ganga International School, Savda, Delhi. Is Vikas sir here? No problem, Rohini ma'am. We would see you during the presentations. The next name, the 10th candidate, is Deepika Nayak. Ms. Deepika Nayak, chemistry teacher from Navy Children's School, Karwar. Navy Children's School, Karwar. It is so satisfying to see contestants from throughout the country, as well as Dubai, Middle East too, because CBSE teachers have all participated here. Is Deepika ma'am here? If she's here, we would love to have her speak a few words in case she would want to. Deepika ma'am. The 11th candidate, Geeta Nair. Ms. Geeta Nair, social science. Indian Academy, Dubai again. Geeta Nair.
अच्छा जो मतलब हाँ 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 हाँ
I think we can hear you. You can mute yourself now.
नहीं अब तो जरूरत नहीं, अब तो सेशन खत्म हो गया. इसमें आ रही है आवाज.
We can hear you. You can mute yourself. I think, ma'am, you can continue. Sorry.
No issues, that happens. The 12th candidate is Ms. Manju from Maths, class 9, Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Kottayam, Kerala. Ms. Manju is the 12th candidate. The third shortlisted candidate is our Dr. Pratibha Singh, biology, class 10 from Navy Children's School, Karwar again. Dr. Pratibha, I invite you to speak a few words.
Right, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am, and other members of Team DKIF. Firstly, though, in my career of 14 to 15 years, first time I have seen this type of competition for teachers and for educators. So it's, ma'am, really great job which has been done by this Team DKIF. And secondly, ma'am, I convey my heartful gratitude to Team DKIF and all jury members who have selected my lesson plan to be presented at this great platform, ma'am. Thank you being and feeling honored, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The honor and privilege is all ours. We are most humbled to have you on the panel.
Thank you so much.
And the last candidate to be shortlisted today is Vijeta Grover from Maths, class 6, Ganga International School, Savda, Delhi. That is Vijeta Grover, ma'am, is the last candidate, and that is the complete list of the 14 super shortlisted candidates who would be presenting virtually at the Seminar for Quality Education. And amongst those, the top 3 winners would be selected. The informations would go on the group, and I would request everybody to stay on that group because there are many other notifications coming on relating to all of you about the seminar and how you can be a part of it. So please stay on the group to get all the notifications and be a part of the seminar for international quality education. That is about all from my side today. I would request Puri sir to please come in now and say a few words. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
It's not. My laptop is not working. So it's a technical fault.
We can hear you now.
Okay, we can close it now.
All right.
So I would request Sugandhi ma'am to come and give a vote of thanks, official vote of thanks.
No. Puri sir wants to say something, no?
No. I am not able to.
No, you are very much audible, sir. You are very much
I am
audible.
audible.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I audible?
You are very much
I am
audible.
very much thankful to Sudhakar sir. Really, he has progressed by leaps and bounds, and it is all his efforts that today we are thinking of such international thing. The innovation is the thing, creativity and innovation in the education sector, and it is really a very important thing for education, because to think out of the box and innovative, and the whole credit goes to Sudhakar ji and all the other his fellow beings. This is a really great direction in which you all are moving. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Puri sir. But I am not Sudhakar ji or Sudhakar sir. I am just Sudhakar for you, and I'll remain like that only. Right. So your humbleness and politeness, I keep on, learning from that. And you taught me what is innovation, what other, important terms are in education. So I'm really grateful to you, and the words are very less to describe about yourself. So thank you so much. Over to Soumya, please.
Yeah, so I would now officially like to invite Sugandhi ma'am to give an official vote of thanks to all.
Thank you, Ms. Soumya. Thank you so much for carrying out the session so nicely. It was so pleasant and nice throughout the workshop. And especially Ma'am Priyamvda Puri. So thankful to you, ma'am. So it's one of my favorite subject, actually, mindfulness. It is how much you hear, it's not enough of mindfulness. So I saw that in all of your organs, actually. So all your organs were speaking out about mindfulness. So pleasant. It was something which I heard from everywhere. It was so nice the way you presented and whatever you did. Maybe it's something very small, and as you said, something maybe which we feel silly, but still the point which you was talking about was so important and what we usually don't think about. So those were really given importance at your session. So wonderful to hear you. Sudhakar sir, I have a request from you. We need to hear some more from Ma'am Priyamvda. Is it possible, sir?
Actually, Priyanka ma'am is also there, and she was the coordinating person for doing all this. So, I would request her to say a few words. And, she is the leader in storytelling, Priyanka ma'am, right? So, we'll invite her too. And obviously, Priyamvda ma'am again will invite her. So, Puri sir is father of these two beautiful women, and educators, and they're like stars, shining stars. So I don't have words, actually. I'm not very good at English. So Priyanka ma'am, Yeah, say please a few words from your side, please.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you?
Yes,
We
ma'am, you're
can.
audible.
All right. What a beautiful evening. So much of talent, so much of education, all on one platform. It's really enriching to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. And surely it'll be a delight to keep coming here. And, as facilitators, when we come, although we are coordinating, but I'm sure each one of you will agree that when the session is over, we are richer because of the interaction, because of the sharings that are done. So it was beautiful to hear Sugandhi ma'am. It was so good to hear Soumya ma'am and Sudhakar ji. You are like that, you are like that thread. वो आप सूत्रधार हैं जिसके अंदर मोती जो हैं वो पिरोए जा रहे हैं. So बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और जब जब आप बुलाएंगे हम दौड़े चले आएंगे. On that very happy note, I would like to say thank you to everyone.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Priyanka.
I'll
So,
also quickly take that opportunity now that we are closing. Thank you for bringing this to me. I've enjoyed every bit of the evening. I've enjoyed connecting with each one of you. And thank you for those beautiful words, Sugandhi ma'am. Thank you, Sudhakar sir, for bringing this virtual stage and my opportunity to explore the subject with all of you. Thank you, Soumya. You've been a lovely host. Thank you, Priyanka, for being a co-host all the time. And of course, my gratitude to my father, Mr. Puri. He's not only, I think, a guide and a mentor to Sudhakar sir and many more of his students. I think the joy of childhood and the joy of parenting gradually started to come, and then the joy of being an educator and a mentor somewhere absorbed during our years of childhood, and they've been involuntary. Somewhere the seed was sown because of him. So gratitude to you. So thank you, everyone. I think we've really made the session too sweet, and thank you for adding sweetness to my life. Good night to everyone.
definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much. So giving us so beautiful memories for the day. And also, it's time for me to invite you all for the conference in May 26th at New Delhi. So we are pleased to invite you. So to look forward for many more. Actually, today I came to know that the lesson plans also will be presented. So it's something, a lot which the educators are going to gain. So I invite all of you to participate in this conference. And also I thank the Dr. Abdul Kalam Foundation for organizing this, Sudhakar sir, Sweta ma'am, and Rashmi ma'am. So keeping on giving us more and more to educate our South Asian teachers. So really thankful for organizing, and it's time to wind up. Good night to you all.